Here's the truth. Nobody in the paint aisle wants to say out loud. The paint slapped onto tanks, ships, aircraft and bunkers during World War II survived saltwater, fire, mud, oil and non-stop abuse, while modern paint peels, fades and gives up after a few seasons. That's not nostalgia talking. That's engineering. And once you see what changed, you'll never look at modern coatings the same way again. War forced paint to grow teeth. World War II didn't care about convenience, cost-cutting or environmental checklists. Paint had one job: protect the machine at all costs. Corrosion meant failure. Failure meant lives lost. So militaries demanded coatings that could survive extremes most civilian products never face. Freezing airfields, tropical humidity, constant vibration, salt spray, fuel spills, shrapnel scars. If paint failed, metal followed, and if metal failed, missions collapsed. That pressure created coatings that were brutally overbuilt. Not pretty, not cheap, just relentless. A hard truth. World War II paint formulas use materials that modern manufacturers can't touch anymore. Lead-based pigments weren't just about colour, they were corrosion assassins. Zinc chromate primers actively stopped rust at a chemical level, especially on aircraft and naval equipment. Alkyd enamels and phenolic resins cured into dense armour-like films that bonded deeply to steel and aluminum. These coatings didn't just sit on the surface, they locked in. Today's paints are regulated for safety, air quality and environmental impact. That's a good thing for health, but it comes at a cost. Lower VOCs mean slower curing and weaker film formation. Many modern paints rely on water-based systems that simply don't penetrate or seal metal the way old solvent-heavy formulas did. Safer paint, softer paint. Thickness mattered, and World War II didn't go thin. World War II paint was applied thick, sometimes outrageously thick by modern standards. Multiple coats were standard, not optional. Primer, sealer, top coat, often followed by touch-ups in the field. Paint weight wasn't a flaw, it was insurance. Modern consumer paint is designed to look good fast. One coat coverage, thin application, quick dry. That convenience sacrifices long-term durability. Thin paint films crack sooner, let moisture through faster, and fail quietly until rust blooms underneath. Back then, failure wasn't quiet. It was unacceptable. Another forgotten secret. World War II paint jobs began long before the brush or spray gun came out. Metal was stripped, cleaned, degreased, and often chemically treated. Phosphating and etching created surfaces paint could physically bite into. There was no skipping steps, no painting over dirt, no rushing the process. Today, most paint failures aren't caused by the paint itself. They're caused by poor prep. Paint applied over oxidation, over old coatings, over contaminated surfaces. World War II doctrine treated preparation as part of the coating system, not an optional extra. Here's something people forget. World War II paint wasn't always expected to last forever untouched. It was designed to be maintained. Chips were repaired. Corrosion was caught early. Repainting was routine. The difference is that the base coating underneath was strong enough to survive that cycle for decades. Modern paint is often marketed as maintenance-free. That promise rarely holds up. Once modern coatings fail, they tend to fail completely. Peeling, flaking, water intrusion, game over. Now, let's be honest. Not all World War II paint lasted decades. Plenty of it failed, plenty of equipment rusted away. But what we see today are the survivors, the vehicles, ships and structures that had the best materials, the best prep and the best upkeep. They represent the upper limit of what that era achieved. And that upper limit was incredibly high. This isn't just about coatings, it's about mindset. World War II engineering was driven by consequence. Modern manufacturing is driven by efficiency. When failure costs lives, durability wins. When failure costs warranty claims, compromises creep in. Paint tells that story in slow motion. So next time you see a World War II tank with original paint still clinging to steel after 80 years, remember? That finish wasn't designed to impress you. It was designed to survive hell. If you value these hidden truths and the details history textbooks skip, make sure you subscribe to Hidden Faces of World War II. Share this with someone who still believes they don't make things like they used to is just a saying. History proves otherwise.